Hi guys, so we're just going to read out a letter. We're here outside Rochestown Lodge tonight. Mairéad Tóibín is giving a presentation in there to help for people who've been injured from the COVID-19 injections. They're not vaccines. She calls them vaccines, but they're not actually vaccines. So some of our volunteers wrote a letter today. So we're here, we're going to read this letter out. It's a message from WakeUpéiRe volunteers to the Tóibín family. Thanks very much. It is June 2025 and we have 25,000 extra deaths and uncounted injuries and illnesses in Ireland since the C-19 injection was rolled out in January 2021. The SARS-CoV-2 virus, also known as COVID-19, has never been isolated. We do not have proof that COVID-19 actually exists. It is misleading to use the word vaccine to describe the new technology mRNA COVID-19 injection. It is unethical to use the term COVID vaccine as used in the title of this event here today as a means to capture some of the public disgust, pain and anger at the COVID-19 holocaust that was enforced by the establishment in Ireland. We remember how in the past people who posed as authorities used misleading words such as work makes one free to mask schemes that killed and injured. People took this dangerous new mRNA pharma product because individuals in responsible positions in Ireland, such as politicians, doctors, pharmacists and media people, urged members of the public to get injected. And when in early 2021 deaths and injuries were rising in the population of injected people, these same individuals, such as pharmacists and politicians, vigorously enforced an evil code of silence on the C-19 injection carnage. They actually suppressed the truth and withheld life-saving information from the public. Since 2021, the post-injection deaths and injuries were rising in hospitals, in your community and on the ground. People in positions of responsibility in Ireland had a duty to observe the facts, the deaths, the injuries and the unnecessary pain and suffering occurring everywhere. These are basic common sense measures that anybody would follow during the rollout of a new technology pharma product that was still in the experimental phase of product development. Ms. Tóibín, during the years of intense C-19 injection deaths and injuries, you were both a pharmacist and an election candidate. Please do not subject yourself to further ridicule by posing as an earnest individual who cares about the C-19 injection suffering in society in 2025 when you have a track record of suppressing the truth of this for the last 4 years. Ms. Tóibín, as a pharmacist with 18 years experience in the public sector and a candidate for elections in 2024, you had behind the scenes and on the ground understanding of everything dangerous about this injection, and you did nothing to inform others. When you stood for election in 2024, your election campaign literature talks of bicycle sheds, of government wasted money and a little of health issues, but there was not one word about the C-19 medical murder and violence. You suppressed the truth. As a pharmacist, it beggars belief. How could you do this? How could you ask people to vote for you while you withheld life-saving information, while you, an experienced pharmacist, let uninformed people continue to take dangerous boosters? How could you do this? What did you say to people's faces when you knocked on doors and tried to persuade them to vote for you? Let it be noted that there were first-time independent candidates who stood for election in Ireland last year who utilised their entire election campaign as a vehicle to inform others about the dangers of the C-19 injection. I'd just like to add there was very, very few. There was only 3 or 4 people in this country who ran for election last year and actually put COVID-19 injection harms, Pfizer's data and excess deaths on their leaflet. Only 3 or 4 in the whole country. They cared about the people, they tried to save lives, and their basic integrity and decency makes all the other candidates look like depraved, pro-genocide cowards and opportunists. Pure gone-bean stuff. It is now evident that most of our politicians have lied by omission. Aontú has the audacity to posture as grassroots and use the catchphrase accountability. Ms Tóibín, you are accountable for your Aontú position as a pharmacist who withheld life-saving information about a dangerous pharma product from a public who would have trusted your professional qualifications. It beggars belief that you have the audacity to stand up in public now and talk about injection injuries when you were in a position of privilege to prevent some of these and you did nothing. Aontú seem to be very proud of their anti-abortion stance. Ms Tóibín, as a pharmacist and an Aontú member, how do you justify the use of fetal cells to manufacture regular vaccines? The public is aware that traditional vaccines use an attenuated form of pathogen to trigger an immune response, but the new technology used in the mRNA injection functions by delivering a message and instruction to human cells to generate immunity. This is groundbreaking technology for public health schemes and totally different from our legacy understanding of how vaccines work. Anyone who poses as an authority of pharmaceutical on medical matters and insists on calling this dangerous product a vaccine is willfully blurring distinctions and deceptively masking the true function of the new technology of the C19 injection, so as to deceive people into associating the mRNA product with our ideas about regular vaccines. A pharmacist who insists on using the term vaccine for this mRNA injection is abusing their authority and their position to cover the fact that this is in fact a bioweapon. We have 25,000 extra deaths now. Are you really going to insist on calling this a vaccine? Are you really going to keep on digging your own grave? Ms Tóibín, I ask you as a pharmacist, do you have evidence that the COVID-19 virus actually exists? Has it been identified? Many people have made official inquiries and requests for proof of existence and have found that COVID-19 does not actually exist. If you maintain that COVID-19 exists, it is your duty to supply supporting evidence. Maximum of law. The burden of proof is on the one that makes the claim.
The unhinged arrogance of our political class is often stomach-churning to informed people in normal times. But in times of stealth, mass medical murder, this sham evidence is nothing but a PR and a data collecting exercise and a cover-up for the people who stood by and let their own people take this bioweapon. We all know that our Irish economy is heavily reliant on American corporations of big tech, big pharma that are located here. And we can all see since 2020, our lives have been hugely dominated by pharma and digital tech powers. Artificial intelligence can replace human workers, and depopulation would make sense for the planned New World Order. The C19 Holocaust, for that's what it is part of the New World Order scheme to depopulate the world and to impose bio-digital control over the rest of humanity. We have observed the US has introduced a bill, the Healthy Technologies Act 2025, to permit AI machines learning as eligible practitioners for prescribing medication. This would replace human pharmacists. The US has already authorised AI-led cancer vaccines, I say that in quotes, treatments to give instructions to our cells, just as the mRNA gives a message to our cells. We know where this is going. The plan is to replace human medics and pharmacists with AI systems so that we can be bio-digitally controlled by centralised administration. And you, Ms Tóibín, with the experience as an inspector for the Pharmaceutical Society of Ireland, would be in a great position to facilitate the New World Order transition of the pharmacy services to AI-controlled systems. The writing is on the wall, people, and more people are starting to see the true schemes behind many public figures who posture as earnest and concerned about our society. As a hospital pharmacist, Ms Tóibín, You have access to insider data, to the facts, the actual lived experiences of C9 medical violence, particularly in 2021. You had a moral duty to report injuries, deaths to Health Products Regulatory Board, HPRA, Ms. Tóibín. How many C19 injection injuries have been personally reported to HPRA? And when did you first report a case of adverse reactions? Today's meeting appears as an empty gesture and badly worded facade of too little too late, presented with a pharmacist professional who should have been helping injured people 4 years ago. Let us all note that the pharmacists in general made huge extra profits from the C19 medical violence scheme, both by injecting and through the rise in demand for medical to treat the post-injection injuries. This awful line from over 75 years ago rings loud in my ears. I was only doing my job. In normal times we accept that political per se have thick skins and hard necks, but it is a step too far, Ms. Tóibín. By far the people who have the professional expertise and authority to stand up, inform and to save lives. It is an unfortunate association for you, Ms. Tóibín, that your brother Peadar Tóibín, an elected Aontú member and party founder, eagerly bused the people of County Meath to the C19 injection centres. In October 2023, Mr. Tóibín spoke in the Dáil during the sham debate on excess deaths, where not even one member of the domiciled government mentioned the actual injection. It is outrageous, but not any different from the 160 TDs and the 60 senators in 2022 who were sent emails of the Pfizer trial data by WakeUpéiRe. All politicians continue to ignore this horrific data from the product trials for the mRNA C19 injection. The data stated clearly that this is a pharma product, caused death, heart attack, miscarriage and alarming side effects. It was pure horror, the stuff of holocausts. Mr. Tóibín, like any elected representative, you have a duty to your constituency of the County of Meath, to the people who live and work there. He was part of the government during the C19 medical scheme. The country was locked down. There wasn't much Dáil business to attend to. Every single elected representative had a duty to inquire into the nature of this injection, to use their authority and privilege to gain access to the medical information locally and nationally, to speak with medical professionals or undertakers to gather information in their constituencies, in particular in County Meath, and to provide this information to the people. They should have been trying to save lives. They stayed quiet and let people take dangerous pharma products. In the future, we will have C19 Holocaust museums, so as we can explain the psychology of these years of how pharmacists, politicians, doctors and the media enforced a dangerous bioweapon on frightened people, and then enforced this evil code of silence on the injuries and the deaths that this injection caused. There is a place for you in that future, Mr. Tóibín. So
Thank you. Thanks, Adele. I just want to thank the volunteers who penned that letter today. And I want to thank everybody for turning up today. We're getting a little bit rained on, but it was a very successful event. Thanks very much.
Of the world we say be warned, hell hath no fury like a people scorned, and oh, change is coming.